Hello, welcome to the One and a Half Spare Time podcast. I'm Mr. Frank. I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing a Nair Automata shirt. I have a 2B on the front of it. I have the game. I've played about 20 minutes of the game, but I find it very attractive, hence the shirt. I'm not really a fan. I'm just a fan of hot anime chicks. Anyway, I'm here to be inappropriate again. I saw a news story about a man who killed his wife and then was caught on a on a ring door cam dragging her body. We don't need the sound, but you see he's dragging the body. Anyway, what happened was, it's a family. Yeah, I think there's 3 kids, a boy and a girl. There's only 2 genders, so I don't know what the other kid is. But the little kid's like, I think like 9, 5, whatever. Like 11, 9, 5, something like that. Once again, not the important part. The woman wanted to get a divorce. She wanted to leave her husband and take the kids with him. And we know this because she told the parents that. And like the last conversation she had with the parents is, I'm going to leave him. I'm taking the kids. And then the next thing you know, she's dead. He's dragging her body in a bag, and it's on the doorbell cams. And then he takes the kids to, I think, Peru, and the kids are with his grandma. Anyway, the point is, there's a right and a wrong way to do things. And so you have to remember, folks, you're always on camera. You're always on camera. So a man holding a bag as he's walking through his apartment complex is completely normal. No one's going to suspect a thing, but a man dragging a bag is not normal, because men are, for the most part, strong and for the most part smart, so they wouldn't carry a load that big. They'd have had a smaller load in that bag. So this is very suspicious, because why would a man do this? I've had to carry like the heavy stuff, and I've actually broken the bag up so I can just carry it and not drag it. So anyway, also he's using like a bed sheet. The only time I've seen a Mexican use a bed sheet is when they're doing yard work. He's not doing yard work. So it's just suspicious, okay? I would have done. So, kill your wife, whatever. You got to chop her up. Okay? You got to chop her up. And then what you do is, for some reason, I don't know why you're using the bed sheet, but use a plastic bag so it just looks like you're taking out the trash. But what you do is you freeze it. Chop her up, freeze it, and then every trash day, you take a portion out the freezer, and so you're throwing away a small portion, and then you mix that in with your regular trash on trash day. Okay, and so it's frozen, so it's not going to smell or anything. Okay, so you got to throw away piece by piece. Okay. So that was his first mistake. Okay, you never, because like you live in an apartment complex. You think you can just drag around a dead body in a bed sheet and no one's gonna notice? And even so, there's cameras everywhere. If I go outside my house, I'm on like 4 different cameras. In my backyard, I'm on 2 different cameras. It doesn't matter where you go. You walk down any street in Los Angeles, you're on camera. You're always on camera. Okay, so if you're going to do something like this, you have to be normal. Because when people look through all this footage, they're looking for something that stands out. Okay. Another thing is, what's the woman's problem? And this is part of society's problem too. The woman says, I'm leaving him and I'm taking the kids. That's what she told her parents, like a couple days before this happened. The fact that she thinks she can just take the kids, the fact that she thinks that the three kids even want it, like, because a couple of them were boys, so I don't know, boys usually want to, maybe it's just my mindset, but the boys usually want to be with the father. Like, you don't want a woman raising boys because that never turns out good. But just the fact that she had the gumption to just assume, oh, it's fine. I'm just gonna take the kids with me. Like, of course, the man is gonna be a little, upset about that. And you know how women are. So if she's thinking I'm leaving him and I'm taking the kids, this is one of those. This isn't one of those I'm getting divorced. This is like I'm leaving you. I'm taking the kids. So this is like one of those like you're never seeing these kids again. She didn't file for divorce. It was I'm leaving you. I'm taking the kids. Okay, so why does she think she's able to do that and not have any repercussions? It just doesn't make any sense. So if she did it the legal way, let's just say she did it the legal way. She got a lawyer, filed for divorce. Now I know you live in an apartment, blah blah blah, but you know that's what you get. Obviously, like breaking up the family, especially a poor family, because it's like you got a husband, wife, and three kids in an apartment. That doesn't sound comfortable. Okay, and I know you can't afford a lawyer. Like this, and I know if you get divorced, you're probably not gonna get anything. So she's not thinking like money because there is no money. But if she would have done it the legal way, this wouldn't have happened because she would have probably had to stay at a friend's house or something. The kids would be with the father, and then you'd work out some kind of co-parenting thing, and you'd still be alive. But she's from a country where they probably sleep in a barn, and women are probably thought as property. And so since she's in America, she's thinking like, she's probably seen one too many TikToks with all these girl bosses and like, you don't need no man. And so she just thinks she can like just get up and leave. And then, he's from a country where like, women are just life support systems for vaginas. So I mean, like, he didn't hesitate. He's just like, well, I'm from Peru. We stone bitches. So both people aren't thinking straight, but this is the woman's fault. Okay? So if you're telling your parents I'm leaving him, I'm taking the kids, you probably felt this way 2 kids ago. Probably. She probably felt this way 9 years ago. She didn't want to be with this man, but had 2 more kids with him. Because like you just don't like out the blue go, I'm leaving him and taking the kids. This was something that had to be building up for years. Okay? She probably doesn't work. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I'm probably, because if both parents work, you wouldn't be living in this, type of neighborhood. I know I'm judging, but based on like the news reporter, like interviewing people around there, like you kind of see like what the neighborhood looks like. So it doesn't come off as a well-off neighborhood. Okay, it comes off as poor. So she probably didn't work. And like when she said she's taking the kids, it probably meant she was gonna go somewhere far away. And in her mind, in her female mind, that has a squeaky hamster wheel and it's running around. It's not a hamster, it's a jumping bean wheel. And it's not a wheel, it's a sombrero. And it's riding a donkey. Anyway. Basically the woman's a moron. The fact that she thought that she could have a conversation with her husband going, I'm leaving you, I'm taking the kids. Like, there's just he did the right thing. But you know what the smarter thing would have been? To never even get yourself involved with a woman. Okay. This man, like, if we could redo all of this, okay? The man, the man should have just stayed single. Okay? Stay single. Pay for sex. If you're the type of man that has to get laid, just pay for sex. Okay? He could have been living in a smaller apartment, because the apartment's already small, but a smaller apartment, have more money to, like, for himself, not be not be in jail for murder right now, and then just pay a woman. The going rate, if you're smart, the going rate is just $60 for sex. Okay, if you're paying more than that, that's on you. Whatever. So you just pay a woman $60, get laid. If you find a woman that's addicted to drugs, it could be as low as $20. Okay, so you're paying a woman between $20 and $60 to get laid, and you do that. I don't know. I don't know this guy's sex drive. So let's just say once a week. Okay, so there's 4 weeks in a month, right? So 4 times 6. So he's paying $240 a month to get laid. Okay, that's a lot cheaper than having a wife and 3 kids and a bigger apartment. You're saving money. Okay, that would have been a smart life choice. Okay, and then he was really quick to kill her, which means he probably didn't like her either. Okay, but the kids were important to him because they were boys. Okay, so imagine if he just paid for sex, lived in a smaller place, had more money for himself. Okay, now living that lifestyle, having more money for himself, everything about him would have been better. He would have attracted a better woman. Okay? Then, okay, that woman wouldn't be the kind of woman that was born in a barn and, like, just thought it was okay. I'm just going to leave my husband with the 3 kids. He would have found an American woman, at least, second or third generation, because I'm assuming he would have stuck with his own kind. We don't want race mixing here. And that woman would have stayed with him, been happy, and they would have had the kids, and no one would have died. But I just can't get over this part. What makes you think, and this is like at 3 a.m. or whatever, what makes you think that no one's going to notice this? Okay? I don't understand. There is a right and wrong way to dispose of a body. Okay? I mean, I'm just saying, your first mistake was getting married. But I'm just saying, dude, this is amateur hour stuff right here. Okay? If you're getting rid of a body, you don't drag. You don't drag. Dragging stands out. I know. Why don't you go buy a suitcase with rollers and, act like you're going to the airport? It's not suspicious if you have a bag with rollers and you put it in the trunk of your car. People do that all the time. That's common. There's nothing suspicious about that. But no, you got a sack. And it's obvious there's a body in there. And I know, whatever, 3 o'clock in the morning. What? Who does that? Who, like, no one does that. Like, common sense. I know. You killed someone, so you don't have any common sense. But common sense. The woman you're married to comes up to you and goes, I'm leaving you, I'm taking the kids. She didn't say I want a divorce. Like, there's nothing legal about this. She just goes, I'm leaving you, I'm taking the kids. If that happened to me, I'd be like, thank God. That's a blessing. Okay? That's a blessing. Think about it. You get your freedom back. You can upgrade on the wife because she, no offense, she probably looks better now because, she lost weight. And, like, if she was so comfortable with saying I'm taking the kids, that probably means those 3 kids are all mama's boys. and didn't care about daddy anyway because the mom was probably talking shit about the dad to the kids the whole time. I mean, obviously this guy was miserable. Okay, and then after he gets rid of the mom, he goes to the airport with the kids. Okay, they they detain him, but they let him go because they haven't found the mother yet, and so it was just a missing person. And so he's like, I'm just taking my kids to see grandma. So they actually let him go, and he goes to whatever his third world country. Now he's on the run, but the kids are with his grandma. His life would have been so much easier if he just like take the kids, and then then use the legal system. See, when she leaves and takes the kids, because like she didn't file for divorce. She's I'm leaving. I'm taking the kids. That's when you get legal. That's when you get a lawyer. And so now she's basically kidnapping the kids. So now you have a chance. I mean, if you want the kids that bad, so now you have a lawyer. File some papers. So now you have a much better case because you're not the crazy parent that's kidnapping the kids, trying to break up the family. You're doing it legally. See, if you would have just let her leave, he would have got the kids back. If the kids are so important to him. But people don't think. But people like him, obviously, he's not all there mentally. I mean, I'm that they're mentally either. I'm telling you how to dispose of a body. Yeah. Yeah, I should probably stop talking. You guys have a good one. Talk to you later. Peace.